Moving on from a relationship or a situationship or any type of partnership that you had with an avoidant is no easy task, especially if you have an anxious attachment style. But in this video, I hope to share with you some insight that will make the process more manageable for you. So these are the four main attachment styles. If you're new here, we have the secure attachment style, the anxious preoccupied, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant. Now, the fearful avoidant is a mix of both anxious and dismissive. This person swings between the two. That's why this is the disorganized attachment style. And today we're talking about if maybe you were involved with a dismissive avoidant and now that relationship is coming to a close and you are trying to move on from them. So maybe you were involved with someone who shut down on you or pulled away, ghosted you, and didn't really give you much of an explanation, if any. Now, I see a lot of content discussing whether this person is an avoidant or just not interested. Now, I don't really bother with that too much because if they ghosted you, if they pulled away without clarity, without saying much, then it's both, okay? They are an avoidant and they are also not interested, okay? It's both. Because here's the thing, a healthy person, a healthy, secure person, someone with a secure attachment style, they will tell you that they are not interested, okay? They won't breadcrumb you or ghost you or give you the silent treatment or play these distant games that a dismissive avoidant would, okay? Now look, if I'm involved with a woman, I'm a heterosexual male, by the way, but attachment theory applies to everybody. It doesn't matter what your orientation is. It applies to LGBT. It applies to everybody. But anyways, I'm a heterosexual guy, okay? But look, if I'm involved with a woman and it's not working out for whatever reason, then I will tell her directly, okay? Because I've really developed my secure attachment style. It's still developing. It's an ongoing thing. But if I'm not interested in going any further with her, then I will tell her directly, okay? And I will just simply tell her, hey, I'm just not interested. I don't really want to go any further with this. I just don't think we're a good fit, right? And I'm always happy to offer clarity and have a healthy discussion about that. But avoidance, dismissive avoidance, insecure people, this insecure attachment style, they are incapable of that, okay? That is why they will resort to dismissive avoidant behavior, pulling away, stonewalling, breadcrumbing, ghosting, all of the behavior patterns that you see with the avoidant attachment style. And if you're on the receiving end of this, okay, there's no clarity, there's no definitive answer. You have all kinds of questions going through your head, right? And one of those questions is probably, is it time for me to move on, right? Now, again, if you have a definitive answer and they tell you clearly that they are not interested in proceeding, then it makes the decision to move on much easier because you have an answer. You have a definitive answer, right? Your question has already been answered clearly. Okay, they've told you that they're not interested. But if an avoidant stonewalls, okay, gives confusing signals, breadcrumbs, then it's going to make it harder to move on. Because your anxious attachment still wants to hold on to something and you don't have a definitive answer. Okay, so back to the question, is it time for you to move on? Well, look, when an avoidant has gone cold and is unclear, non-responsive, and you have given them space and you've made attempts to reconnect with them and they continue to stonewall, well then is it time for you to move on? Well, I could tell you yes, it is time for you to move on from this, as hard as that is. Moving on without clarity, without closure, without any clear answers or understanding from your avoidant partner. That is hard. Holy hell, that is hard. That is hard. But let me ask you this question, okay? Let me ask you this question. Is this the kind of relationship that you want to be stuck in? Is this the kind of dynamic that you want to be stuck in? Okay, one where you are ignored, unheard, not seen. And I know how it was in the beginning. Okay, I'm sure during you had a honeymoon period with this avoidant partner, and this person was showing up for you, and they made you feel seen, they made you feel heard and valued, and you miss that, and you're probably holding on to that, right? But part of moving on from an avoidant is coming to the realization that they no longer see you that way. Okay, your newness has worn off for them. And avoidants thrive off of the newness of a new partner, but you can't be new forever. Nobody can, right? And here's the truth, okay? A relationship is only going to work if your partner can see past that newness, okay? They can see past that honeymoon period. Even after that newness is worn off, your partner is still just as interested. They're still just as engaged, right? They're still showing up consistently. And that needs to go both ways, okay? And that's the only way that this works. So yes, I am telling you that it is time for you to move on from this one, to move on from this avoidant partner. And I mean really move on, okay? So don't interact with their social media. Don't go looking at their posts or at their stories, because that is only going to slow you down. You're not really moving on, right? You're just kind of pretending to move on if you continue to view their stories, view their posts, keep track of their social media, right? So, block them, delete them, or at the very least mute them, or just take a break from social media altogether, okay? As you're moving on from this. And if you work with them or if you go to school with them, then keep the interactions very minimal, business only, okay? It's business only. But you cannot hold on to breadcrumbs, okay? Because those breadcrumbs, they mean absolutely nothing. If you have an anxious attachment style, it's common for you to hold on to those breadcrumbs, because you're holding on to what was, you're holding on to potential. You hold on to a breadcrumb and you think it might mean something, but those breadcrumbs mean absolutely nothing, okay? Do not hold on to them. Do not accept them, okay? And again, as you move on, you need to do it for real, okay? Don't pretend to move on. Don't move on with the intention of getting them back later. No, you need to move on to move on. That needs to be the intention, to really move on and do it for real. And when you make that decision to move on, okay, there's going to be waves of emotions that are going to hit you, okay? But over time, those waves will weaken, and you will become more resilient, and you will become more emotionally developed. So I hope I brought some good into your life today. If so, please like and subscribe, and please share your thoughts and your stories in the comments section. Let's get the discussion going. If you have any questions, please share them. And if you think this video might help somebody, please share it with them. And until next time, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video.